Good morning, happy people. Welcome to Chartroom episode 146. I'm your host, Jay Sung, and today we're going to be covering some cryptos. Everything in this video is not financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. Bear in mind that I ate red crayons for breakfast. Trading the market carries substantial risks. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially be cautious against high leverage trading. All right. Now, as we're going to look at our opening cryptos, this is what's on the menu today. These are many of our requests that were placed from Saturday. We couldn't get to all the cryptos, but on Saturday, episode 145, we did continue to search through the market and found that many cryptos are moving into strong, healthy positions. So with that, there's been a few opportunities. Some look a lot better than others, and some or just not ready yet. They need to go down just a little bit longer, or they need to drift sideways and break past some of the resistances that are coming down. It's a very common pattern that's happening for many cryptos right now. In addition to this, as Bitcoin is freed up into new larger territories, it's like Mother May I. The Bitcoins, they look at the what cryptocurrency is doing on average, and since Bitcoin carries so much of that weight, you're going to see that what happens in Bitcoin usually permits some of the more smaller coins to start flowing in those directions. It could be vice versa, that the collective of everything else, but on certain maps, on certain heat maps that are posted online, you can see that Bitcoin still carries just a big percentage of that market, and Bitcoin's closely tied to the USDT dominance. So USDT, the tether, it's a house of falling cards. It's going to be one day just destroyed, and you'll see everything come crashing down in a very quick moment until the dollar is replaced. And the USDT is tied to our dollar. Okay, so a lot of weird stuff happening in the market, but right now we're looking bullish on many cryptos. So look for cryptos to enter opportunities. I'm not looking to short during these times because it's dangerous to short. Also, in addition, many cryptos are at a resistance level, as you'll probably see by looking at some of these cryptos today. You'll see that many are pressing up against those resistance. Some are just breaking out, and when they break out, those are your chances to pull those triggers, especially if you get some nice setups and pullbacks. I'll let you know what is the type of trades that I would take as we go through the program today. Some are what I call my cup of tea. The first one we're looking at is BNBLION. Okay, BNBLION has this. Now, I can see that right now price is not ready to go up just yet, and we still may have some problems, but there is something very beautiful about this chart that is easy to read. And what I'm going to show you is this. Now, I already made a duplicate copy, so I'll include both in case you want to practice. But I saw this, and I'm going to take my little pencil, and I'm going to use yellow, because if you see me drawing yellow, it usually means I'm thinking parabolic. And as I look at this chart, the center of this energy is here, right? So I'm going to draw a energy center here, 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 and here. Then I'm going to draw one here at the core. This is about right here. And then it's kind of hard to see, but there's a small peak that lasted a few days, and it's about right here. So therefore, I'm going to draw it about there, right? And then we can finally draw our top one. Now, this leads me to think a certain way about this crypto. Does anybody see a pattern here? Because I sure do. And it looks like this. And that's what I see. So and this is not even logarithmic, but for the most part, there is parabolic energy that is running alongside here. Now, if we continue that parabolic energy, you will see that even if price goes up today, I'm not really so concerned about it. I am concerned when price breaks above these areas about right here where I'm drawing this line. And this is the symbol that I always draw for you guys. If price comes up to these same highs, and all you have to do is look at what the highs were around this day. What is that? Back between October and November. So I'm going to say October 15th-ish highs are important. Now, I don't know what price that is because it doesn't show the prices here on the side, but it's really easy. Just look at whatever dates these are, okay, in here. And you basically got everything you need to know about that. And you can draw it easy if you want to, just to be on the safe side. just draw yourself a flat, and I always draw my flats in blue. And whatever price that is, you're basically looking for price to clear that area, and you're more or less good to go. In addition to all of that, if you do go up right now or this week, take these swing lows over here and whatever swing low that would be and draw them out, and you'll get a certain angle. When you duplicate that angle, I'm not going to do this on here, but I'm showing you how to do this for this episode. When you duplicate it out, you're going to put it at the top of this previous energy center right there. And if it turned out the back one was important, put it there too, and you now know where your next two entries are. And generally the reason I'm going to say that is because when we're drawing energy centers, the highest energy center between 2 points, between those 2 points, the highest peak is usually the most important. So that's why you want to take one of those and put it up the top. And now you know where your next entry is as well as your resistance. So what does that mean? That means if you buy it somewhere here, where I'm suggesting, you may want to exit somewhere here. And then you can get in again when price breaks and cracks those for your BNBLION traders. Okay? Two behaviors, 1 and 2. Okay? But this is hypothetical, so we're going to draw with the eraser, okay? Because I don't know where price will reverse. That's if price reverses this. We have to wait for when price reverses, and then you can calculate. That's just calculating 2 steps in advance. Right now, all you have is 1 step in advance in yellow. Okay, so I'm going to put this in your little commentary, and then we'll move on. Okay. BNBLION ETH, right? In wrapped ETH. November. See? Chartroom.
It's BNB. It's not wrapped ETH.
Okay, just BNBLION. I'm not sure which is the other thing that it's measured in. Is it USD?
It's BNB. Wrapped BNB.
Oh. WBNB. Then. Okay. Thank you. 146. BNB in wrapped BNB. Chartroom episode 146, November 20th. Right? What we're going to do is this. I clearly see a large parabolic downtrend. The main price breakout would occur when prices clear the highs from around October 15th. You'll have to check whatever price that is on your map, or just draw your line. This would indicate when price is more safe to trade and have potential to move up. So that's the first thing I'm going to say. I'm going to shrink that. Now I'm going to duplicate that out. I'm going to put one on the side, and I'm going to change this to blue. In addition, if the breakout is now, we would want to connect the ascent, which is the up key angle before the breakout. This is shown in blue, hypothetically, if the breakout happened now. That angle will show your target for exit, and if price breaks above there, it would show another entry for higher prices. Okay, so that's what we're going to look for on that one. WKCAT, it went up without its own structure. Currently, it went up without its own structure. This increases the chance of a pullback down towards the 803 area. There is some good signs. See Chartroom 143, November 12th. The positive signs indicate bullish move from the orange sword cut up towards the main resistance. At that time, it may be around 806. And so this is the same, this is a structure that I've seen on WikiCat. So we'll pull it up again. And so at that moment, I was looking that a good potential entries would be a move back to the sword cut area. And when we get into that sword cut area, then we'd be looking for a bounce in that area. So we'll see that sword cut was around 803. And then we're looking also at these two multi-touch tops, okay, which becomes a flat. We saw that, and we might be looking for 807 as our potential target number 2, and then target number 1 would be potentially down here, 80s, I want to say 9, okay, so 80s 9 area, something around there. But it's the bottom of that round structure here, so to speak. It's not as round, but you know, the meat is round, the core of it. So I might want to trade it in 2 segments, one from there and then one up to there. Let's take a look and see what WikiCat is doing today. WKC and wrapped BNB. Alright, so we're still high above that area, and that parabolic is still not hit as it is. The meat of that parabolic is going to be, it's going to carry a lot of that. But basically what you're looking for is the breakouts somewhere in these areas, which we did, or have somewhere in that area. That's terrible. I'm drawing like that. You guys can't see that, but I'm drawing like that. And prices coming there. This is a daily chart. So we drew sword cut somewhere around here in the previous, and we still may get that. 803. It's going to be out right here. Okay. According to this, I might still be waiting for price to fall down a little bit, but something I will pay attention to, and I will show you what I might look at. If we look at this area here, we can see that we're just at a resistance based on that energy. Okay, there might be a sword cut just here, and price is actually getting ready to go down a little bit further, like that. It's possible. Okay, it's possible that's what's happening, and we're getting ready for the smaller move. Now, it's great to try to trim here and look to go up, but because we don't have any real supporting structures, I don't have the whole trend with me just yet. I mean, I'm in healthy territory, but I like to have some structures with me. Either the bottom would have, gone like that, and then I can, start, the structures would have been pulled back to there. So I have multiple reasons to get in or something like that. But this, all we have is the break in trend. And so I want to pay attention to as many elements as possible. The main sword cut is still down here. Okay. And we can put that sword cut main. And this is the main one. Okay. Or major. And this one is going to be SC minor. SC minor. Okay. So therefore you want to be looking for that kind of thing. Okay. If price is breaking above there and it's holding, then yeah. And when it breaks, you can then connect those ones and know where your next entry is, as well as your potential target. So I'll put something like that. But again, that's hypothetical. So we will just chop that and we just make it dashed for right now. So you can know that that's a hypothetical. But that's something I might be looking for. And those are about the prices for these things. You're going to need to draw this on your own map. But at the moment, I'm still waiting for 803. I will include both the previous images from the first assessment of this map from episode
also,
143.
Just to let you know, this is on TradingView on Gate.io.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I did do that. Oh, good. Okay, same thing. Thank you so much. When it comes to some of these ones, I don't always remember.
Pleasure.
All right, so that sword cut's still hot. Let's borrow this one. Sword cut major is still hot. I it is probable that price may still fall on WKC, but that is good. And allows price to build a proper bull run, because you need legs to stand on. Okay, you need legs to stand on, which gets you that price. There's your price. Okay, in addition, here's your smaller movement, and a smaller sword cut would be up here. Cut minor. Okay, anybody else have any questions about this sword cut major? You can understand what I'm showing here. Okay, I'll include all those images for the image notes, and you'll know what to do and how to navigate. I would be waiting for that break above, or do like I drew in the previous image, waiting for something like that. Okay, draw that, and you basically got what you need. So I wouldn't buy WKC just at the moment based on the data. I would wait. I think I can get better prices for it, or at least a safer entry, because I'm more so at the top. Let's look at Ethereum. We're going to look at it on Bitstamp. All right, Ethereum target 1. Actually, that's Hidden Battler 1. And then Hidden Battler / target, Hidden Battler 2 / target 1. We were looking for some type of new behavior to appear above here, or prices moving up to that area of 2051, and that's been hit. Okay, this is the second target for Ethereum, and it looks like it was hit this past week, around November 9th. Okay, so on November 9th, price hit that. Now, why did price hit that? Well, because we had resistance along this track, okay, and that resistance was important. The first health was here, by the way, the first health was over here in this area. Price broke above, went to its sword cut. You can see it went to the sword cut on October 27th, and then we hit its resistance 1866. We actually hit it right here, 1, maybe 2, and then for sure a third time right here along that track, and then it came down, but then we popped above and stepped on top of it, like stepping up, something like step ups. That's a good sign of bullish health. That means we're safer to go up. The very next day, price went up, because that was your confirmation, that was your pullback. That's why I say when price pulls back, it gives it legs to stand on. That type of phrasing analogy is exactly how price builds on itself. Okay, so when you see that structures like that, you're more so good to go. Now, here's the crazy thing. We broke above this target in here. Now, normally I don't like to use these types of step ups, but sometimes you'll actually see price responding to them as such. In this case, is price responding to Hidden Battler number 1? Well, it's not just a target, it's a Hidden Battler. And yes, the answer is yes, because of the round structure that's here. Do you guys see how important that is? That flat round structure can be drawn with the flat, and there is Hidden Battler that needs to be dealt with in that little section. And what I mean by Hidden Battler, from you guys who have taken the sword method lessons 1 through 10, these are outliers. They're the exception to the rule, but usually when we see them, price, if ever breaks above, will start coming up, and it'll hit the flat of Hidden Battler, and the other time it will hit, the other places it will hit is usually the core of these areas, sometimes the wick. But I draw conservatively a Hidden Battler. At any rate, we know that in these area is where we should expect resistances. Okay, so when I see Hidden Battlers, I draw them. In this case, the Hidden Battler was drawn using this guy. Oops. Okay, so that's what I mean by Hidden Battler. And if you and you can study the sword method lessons 1 through 10. One of the classes we teach specifically about Hidden Battlers. It's related to the flats family. I talk about flats family number 1, and then the second flats family, their cousins, Hidden Battler, right? They're just flats, and they're really easy to do. Real easy to do. So when price starts clearing that area, we pay attention. Okay? Now we're going to pay attention to that. And when price is sitting on top of old Hidden Battlers, like this, we should pay attention, right? Okay. So this is evidence that price is going to go higher. Now, if you're looking for an entry, what do? Well, in lesson number 10, we talk about bringing it into your world, how to cut these down prices, the price going in the wrong direction. We can see clearly. Well, first let me take a picture of this, and then I'll show you how to get the entry. Let me put a little text box. I can see clearly that price is giving evidence of continued bullishness. We can see that price hit target 1 and 2 this past month for Ether. In addition, price broke above the high of the last hidden battler, as shown in this episode. I also see price sitting on the old resistance hidden battler number 1, number 2, and number 1. Since we are in healthy territory, I would now be looking for price to go down, and then I would cut price, looking for the new breakout. This is exactly what is happening now. Okay, and we'll get back to that in just a second, but that's what we would do. Okay, now I'm going to show you where it is. By the way, do you guys know where it is? Where is the entry for this chart? Where do you get in at this trade? Somebody draw on my screen. Oh, baby crying. Does anybody want to draw on my screen where the entry is at? If all lights are a go, you're going to cut the downtrend, as we explained clearly in the PowerPoint presentation I gave you guys for lesson number 10. In lesson number 10. Does anybody know where the entry is, where to buy Ether at, and what price that might be around? Anybody want to go for it? Use my zoom annotate feature. There it is. Johannes. Okay. You want to draw the line? Draw. There it is. Easy. Easy peasy. Thank you, Johannes. Easy peasy. What did he do? He drew a line from here to there. So if we look at this, I'll even use his color. Okay. Yes. Good. So if we look at this, are we okay to buy Ethereum right now, using just the data alone on that's provided on this chart? Yes or no? Should we buy it today? Buy it right now?
No.
Are we safe? Ian says no. Why, Ian? Why wouldn't we want to buy this right now? I heard good things about it.
It could come down to the hidden battler again, and it's not broken out and confirmed breakout.
That's right. That's exactly correct. It's very possible we're just going to stop right here and still continue moving downwards, maybe to the hidden battler, maybe even lower, right? It's very possible that that could happen, the original sword cut, which would be somewhere around there. And what we need to do is we need to let price come to us. We need to be in this territory on this side of that line. So right now, today's candle, that means we need to be somewhere here. And it makes it easier every day, because if all price did was just go straight across and not move and change, then by very virtue of that, we would be in the healthy territory. But we need to be in that territory. Okay, we need to be in there. And that's going to make you safe. Otherwise, we're asking for trouble. We're just betting. We don't know if price is going to break on. Now, maybe you know the future. Maybe you have a system that shows the breakouts before the breakouts. But I don't know anybody who does. You may have indicators, and that could help you give you an edge on that. And maybe that's something you can do. But for the maps, for the purposes of sword method, we wouldn't want to take that trade just yet. Okay, because it could be dangerous. I'm going to put one more text box. Okay. And I'm going to give this the border that looks like the picture we just drew. The entry on ETH would most likely be when price breaks above the teal colored line. I would feel comfortable entering Ethereum at that breakout on the daily or 12-hour chart. Daily/12-hour chart. Okay, so I would feel comfortable getting in. We don't have a price for that, but I have an average price. So if it was today, the price needs to be exactly or above, higher than $2,038. Okay, $2,038. Okay, it needs to clear that number. If you don't clear it, you're not golden. Do not take the trade. Okay, do not do it. You're asking for trouble because right now you're just sitting there at the line. Okay, you need to crack it. You need to crack it. All right. In addition, look at this. Do you notice how these wicks are touching? For even more safer confirmation, wait till you're above there. In fact, we're going to put that like that for right now. And I'll give you even that higher price. Just because if I see consistencies on the wick, I'm going to use them. Okay. If it's today, that's the number. I'll use that image instead. The wick also has consistencies that we can see. It is the same angle as the core. Pay attention to this in this case. Okay, when you see it, say something, right? Draw something. See something, say something, right? So that means I just need price to clear this area and you're good to go. All right, and then we can go. But I don't want to trade it just yet because we're not guaranteed the breakout. Price could still come back down if there's some weaknesses that appear. And by the way, the weaknesses will appear when you're under there. Okay, I'm going to fade that away and just do that in red. Okay, at this moment, I'm going to bring back some of these so we can bring them into our world. And my charts won't look so out of place. But I would like to take some ether, and once we get that breakout, that'll be a good opportunity. All right, any other questions about ether? Okay, I'm gonna put this in here, the little notes. Looking for a breakout above a breakout. I'll just put breakout. Get me that breakout, and then we can go see higher prices. By the way, what higher prices are we looking at? I forgot to tell you guys that. Let's see. Well, what I would do is go back to the weekly chart. I mean, there's very high potential. But what I would say, there's a sword cut above here based on this energy there. We're gonna need to stop there for a little bit. Those prices are very high up in the sky right now. And that tells us how much money is going to be on the table in this current trade. As a trade, I would take profit there. There is, if we have the breakout, just say we have the breakout back to Hidden Valor 2 and we get it around Hidden Valor 2. That's 29% on your money. That's not the best, okay? Not the best. But potentially, if price cracks that area, again from around current prices, then we can hit the upper tops, which are around 447%. And that area is when prices go up. So right now, what is it today? Yeah, where's today? So somewhere in this area, right above us, is around $11,000 ether. Now I'm not saying price is going to hit that. It would have to overcome those two things, but at least you can know where they're at. So once you clear the 2,644 area, you can take another trade potentially up to the top and be relatively safe and see it happen relatively soon. And that would be well within its normal structure. Okay, that would be well within its normal structure. Okay. It's very, very possible you can see that happening. Okay. Now, do I have any other questions about Ethereum at the moment? If you want to know where to draw that hidden valor, that's where you're going to draw that hidden valor on the weekly chart. Okay. We didn't do target training, but if we do target training after we clear 26044, we'll put on target training, or if we have the breakout, I'll do it. I won't spend too much time on it today because it's not broken out.
Can you,
in addition,
draw that? Can you see if there's any lines that line up with 3,000?
With 3,000?
Maybe that red one.
For you, Ethan? Ian? Ethan. I called him Ethan. I'm saying Ether and Ian at the same time. Ethan. For you, Ian, we'll put on your target trading, and maybe we'll have something overlapping those. I have... Yeah, we got something there.
If someone had a dream about shorting from 3,000 and...
They'd be right. That was your target. Okay. Yeah, look at there. So target number 1 is going to be there. So your next target is there, and then you get another target not too high above you, above there. Yeah. So what I would say, look at this price, Ian. He's probably right.
Yeah, it's a key psychological area as well, so it's a fairly obvious place that it's going to correct from.
Good catch. Everybody give Ian a toast. Clap on the back. Good job, my friend. Target 1. Put on top. Put it on the middle. Target 2. So those are your 2 targets in the sky. And the percentage you would make on your money from, just say we get the breakout right now this week, November 20th, that's around 48%. Okay, 49, 50%. Not so bad. Wayne's World says, thanks, Ethan. Target 2 would be at 80% of your money. Yes, send your thank you. If you make the money on there and you make 50% on your money, don't forget to tell Ethan thank you.
Yeah, it's only because I think part of the dream or vision was that it went up 64%.
Okay.
Where it corrected.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't remember, but yeah, doesn't matter. I'll have back into it anyway.
That might be somewhere where we would reject. Okay. So I'm gonna put training, or it's not the best word, but that's what I call it. So target 1 also coincides. I don't know how to spell coincides with a prophetic word, and yeah. So we'll just put the parentheses Ian, even though you didn't prophesy, you know who said it, and we take your word at it. Come. Okay, my friends. Let us begin. Or let us move on.
It is someone very accurate, by the way. So let's just add that. And also, I had a dream about Doge, so maybe at the end.
Okay. Sol. We're going to look at Sol. USD. We're going to look at on Binance. What is Sol doing? Sol Chartroom 142 and 137. Sol broken above its resistance this week, therefore it now has another entry, a chance to move higher. Okay, the update November 6th, price is continuing to move higher. Look for our first target to hit alongside the upper phantom resistance, 58 and 64 cents, $64. We hit 58 from that area down here. Sol moved up to its target. I hope you made that money from we last called out the health. And you guys, this is the beautiful thing about these maps, is that, you know, people think just crypto just moves up, you know, randomly, but most of the time it's just doing a lot of chop. But when it sets itself up, we can see the health coming in. Like, for example, this was a part of a larger parabolic story on the weekly charts. And I need to update that parabolic, but you know, this was part of a larger story that we saw happening, that health should start appearing in these territories, and it did right here. Okay, right there it appeared. And when it gets into those territories, we can start doing things like drawing sword cuts and drawing a lot of other stuff. There's other things we have as confirmations, like just the foundational areas. We talk a lot about that in lesson number 9. Lesson number 9, sword method lesson number 9. And we can see that hell should appear when price is crossing on this side of that line. Okay, and when it entered, in addition to the parabolic, everything was like saying, okay, all systems go. You know, that plane can't take off unless you first prime the engines, right? They fire the engines, right? And then the engines are doing something called spooling. And as the engines spool, then the engine is ready for takeoff. And then you just wait for things like that. Some of these cryptos that are happening right now in these seasons have been moving into these areas where they're starting to be primed. So when I see pumps like this, you know, I'm not like so surprised. In fact, we're calling them all the time when we can see them. And sometimes they're just like, since November, there's been a lot of bad news. We haven't seen a lot of cryptos that were ready. We saw them look like that, but in the opposite direction. We saw weaknesses appear. And weakness appeared, prices rounding underneath that weakness. We're most likely going to go down. And you see me draw lots of charts like that. And we saw a lot of that. But now it's just the opposite. Okay, now it's exactly just the opposite. Because we're entering into those times of health. All right, so let's look at where the next trades are. Because you may have missed the Sol bandwagon. We did call that trade. Sol is currently hitting the low side of target 1. Consider taking profit or expect possible slowdown at the 64 area. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that right in this area, we're looking to take some profit. Okay, good. But now, that was in episode 141, but now we're looking to break out because price is starting to close higher in this area. Now, the only concern I have, why I may not want to take this breakout, is because we're already at the target that we needed to hit, and that was this target 1 area. Now, the average for that price was $64, and we're just hitting the low side of that target, and we're just kind of staying there. Well, actually, let me bring this to the front. You actually did hit your target. 64.24? Okay. Price hit 65. Are these charts good or are these charts good, guys? Are these charts, I don't know what to tell you guys. I like them. I like these charts. All right. Now, that's basically what happened for those 2 episodes. Where might we want to get in to try to trade up to target 2? Well, first, let's talk about how much money's on the table. If we can make it to there, it's another 86% on your money, which is pretty good, right? That's going to be your next target 2. For me, I would feel comfortable being in this trade, but I would still hunt for the down move. Okay, I would still wait for a down move, and I would do this. So I'm going to go down to 12, then we'll go to 6, and about here is where I'm going to be looking for some kind of down consistency. Currently, all I see is price still making higher lows and higher highs. Okay, so as it is, I would like to trade above here in those prices, and I would also like to trade maybe step-ups. Okay, step-ups are when mid-phantom, that middle angle, based on the key angle, this is the key angle here. Here's your mid-phantom, it's here, but usually we just draw it dashed. 1, 2, 3. Where price crosses from one side to the other, draws a step up. There's a step up here. We can see price rounding here in the step up. That's a good sign. The next step up should be here. Price is rejecting here in this one. Okay. So therefore, either we're going to enter weakness, or I'm going to be getting in when price breaks above and stays in that area. Okay. So that might be an advanced entry. That might be something I want to do for this crypto Sol, and that's primarily because we're already in the healthy territory. I need to be in there, but now I'm just hunting on the 6-hour chart for a potential smaller entry. Okay, so for me, that might look like here. Okay, so that one, we're just going to put it in green. Let me do maybe yellow. Okay, and then I'll put a little call out, and I'll put the price label, and I say I need to be here. I want to be closing above in these prices, 65. Okay, if I'm closing 65 in these areas without breaking to the low side, I'll pull the trigger for a sold. Okay, and I'm gonna put that in your notes so you guys know how I would navigate it. I wouldn't get in just yet if you're trying to get perfect entry. Otherwise, you're pretty safe, but I wouldn't. I'd wait for perfect entry. Okay, make sure that we're not just hitting the target and going down. Call out. I wish to wait for price to enter around 65.20 area without breaking below the lower white line shown in this video episode. Price is already in healthy territory, but I need to make sure price did not just break above these areas to hit the target and come down. That is a possibility. In addition, I would take profit. Well, I should say I would take some profit if you didn't already from the previous trade if you did not already. Okay, and that's because everything's been fulfilled. So I kind of want to wait for this entry. It's just a 6-hour chart, and it would be better price to enter around 65.23 on a 6-hour chart. That is the area, but it needs to be in that area without breaking below the lower white line. So that means it cannot go here first and show weaknesses and then come back up. I cannot have that. If price comes below here, I cannot have it come back in. So if you're drawing only one, draw this key angle along this path. Do not let it come below here, closing. Like, I don't want to see candles. They can spike below, that's fine. I just can't have any closes and then come back up to the channel and pretend like everything's gone. No, you can't just walk away and pretend like everything's fine. No, it's not like that. You got to work it out, right? Okay, the proof is in the pudding. Price is responding to step ups, both above and below. Isn't that amazing? But we need to clear that now, that everything's to show us that the channel's still intact. We need to make sure this channel is still intact and that we're going somewhere, right? I want to say like hallelujah, or I want to say amen. Oh, that's the minister in me coming out. Key angle, 6-hour chart. Better? Yeah? Okay, my friends. Hopefully that will be good. Now I'm going to put in this here, soul in health, looking for a break out as well. Not really a breakout, a break above point. I want people to consult the chart, because if I just give us price, but if we go below that area and it invalidates the trade, it wouldn't make for a safe entry. For me, I wouldn't like it. Theta. There it is. Binance. There it is. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking for price to break out of this channel here, and we did. That's good. All right. Once we're breaking out of here, we have a chance to clear that territory. The potential money that's on the table, just saying from current prices, is around 58% on your money. That's not so bad before we need the next change in behavior. And that's going to be that price needs to enter this area. Okay, that's going to be the healthy area. Okay, that's going to be a healthy area. I'm going to put this in your little notes. Call out. Current prices. Current prices. Theta has potentially 58% before encountering its main resistance. Structures above here would be safer for longer term health of Theta. This would be the safer area to trade. Okay, just letting you guys have that, know that. The next thing I want to do is, since we're in this territory, I want to look for an entry. And the entry looks like we almost got it. We may get it. Let's go to a 12 and 6 hour chart. And I think we got it on a 6. I think it's good today to get in. Okay, yeah. See how we're making lower highs and lower lows? Because of that, we can cut this downtrend, and therefore we're having a breakout right now as we speak. Okay? Let's draw that together. We have a verified downtrend, and there's your breakout. So because of this verified downtrend, we can see that price is now in territories where it has an option to go higher. Now it's not going to be without well, let's see. Price may play a few days and then draw like that, and you're going to put it there, and you can see that it may end up looking like this. Therefore, price may go like that and maybe continue up, but we should have a big up move in the near future. This is a 6 hour chart. Maybe this week. Okay, maybe this week, especially with many cryptos being bullish. So the fact that we're in a new territory for Theta, and the territory is now from here to here, you now have an opportunity to cut the down move and make up to 50% on your money. And right now you got it. So guess what? I would feel comfortable entering Theta at this time. Okay? I would feel comfortable getting out of Theta up there. And then let price do what it needs to do. If you're going to get in, I would take profit at that. Because as a trade, that's a good place to take profit. Now, why is it a good place to take profit? Well, because that's part of the major trend. Okay? This is part of the major trend. These structures are important. And guess what? They have not been tested. Let me say that again, my Theta friends. What we need to do is we need to focus on this. It's been hit. How many times? How many times has that foundational area been hit before it was established? You guys, I want to make sure everybody can read, right? Make sure you guys know how to read. You know how to read books, but do you know how to read a market? How many times was that foundational area hit? And by foundational, we mean how it all started. How did the down run start? It started up here.
A dozen times.
How many? How many times did it hit? Can you guys see? Can you count it? Just need
About half a dozen times.
half a dozen times, maybe. Yeah. If we really technically, we can say 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, half a dozen. But as far as swings goes, it was 1, 2, 3. I'll show you. 1, 2. Came down 2. Almost 3. 3, 4. So really 1, 2, 3, 4, but 2 major ones. The overall round structure is here, just 1. You know, but that's basically it. Okay, there's your nose and there's your, little eyelashes. I'm just kidding. But you guys get my point. I pay attention to these foundational areas. In addition, we have mid phantom that may potentially be here. Okay, but we know this map pretty well and pretty accurate. So that means you Theta traders need to break this up into 2 trades. I'm gonna just please, you'll thank me later. Take your profit there. If price clears it, great. Let somebody else take the risk. Then get back in. Get out there because of that big resistance line. You understand what I'm telling you, Theta traders? Please. It's in the pudding, right? We do this all the time, right? This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna need to take that profit and then wait till it drifts and stays in that area or breaks above. If it breaks above, then take the next trade to somewhere higher, and we can map out more higher territories from there once we hit that target. Okay, but take your profit, lick your ice cream, and then get back in if you're clearing those areas. And if it's today, you know the exact price. It's easy to calculate. You just go to today's date and you go straight up in the air and hit the line. $1.68. That's the exact price. We've done this a lot of times, both to the downside and the top side. I'm letting you guys know. I see this. It's not my first rodeo drawing these angles, and that's where you need to take that profit, please. And that you walk away with some money. And it's a trade. I would like to take that trade. I'll probably get in some today, and this will be a good one. Okay, this will be a good one for me. I would like to take it. Okay. And then when you get the breakout, then you can take your another trade. Okay. Main resistance. Please take profit. Because Melody's making breakfast pizza. Oh wow, thank you, Melody. No, I got a show today. Please take profit because the main, thank you, resistance is strong. In addition, if price clears and above these areas on the daily chart significantly, that means I need to see it clear up and over, then I would be interested in taking another separate trade. I'm going to use the words like that from now on. Separate trade on that. Great find, Superfood. Thank you for letting us search for that. How do you spell separate? I feel like I shouldn't have. I'm feeling a little bit guilty for missing the day that they taught spelling in school, Melody. I feel, let me put the... Yeah, I was absent that day. I was also absent the day they taught Roman numerals. Yeah, I was there for lunch. We had Roman noodles. But, yeah, I did. Just not the... Okay. Anybody have any other questions? It's a great trade, guys. It's a great trade. It's going to be a good... I like this trade. Hey, what happened to the other one? Have another one? There, I deleted it.
So pretty much we're gonna have to keep our eye open once it hits that 140, 160 area.
Yeah.
So a nice healthy round action.
I wouldn't even. Yeah. To get another trade, but I wouldn't even wait. I would just take that, set your limit right to there, set your limit to there, and then get ready to get back in if you need to. But if it gets above there, it's significant. But there's nothing telling me that we're gonna get above there, because the major trend is still down with massive down potential. So it's possible that it's breaking out because these are the healthy times. The market's going up. And if you can clear that area, good. Then we'll calculate some really good trades. But 2 trades, not 1, 2 trades. I won't always share you that's how important it is. Sometimes it's really optional. Other times it's almost like mandatory. And I'm letting you guys know, when I see multi-touches like that, I get a little concerned. Okay? And I am concerned for you guys. I want to make sure that you walk away from the casino with your profits. Right? Okay, my friends. But it's up to you guys. It's your money. I won't spank you or anything, of course, I'm just your friend. I'm just in your corner. That's why you guys pay me the big dollars. Because I'm in your corner doing these maps and helping. I would feel comfortable entering now. Let's go back to that 6-hour chart. Let's put a little call out box. I would feel comfortable getting in theta today because we are in a breakout on the 6-hour chart that is in alignment with the larger health. We are never guaranteed anything in the markets, but we can stack the odds in our favor, and the odds are now stacked. Alright, so that's something I would take, and I hope that one makes you some money. That's a trade I would take. I trade last week, one of the ones that I called, I took AGIX. I did take profits on certain cryptos like XRP from the last trades. I took profits on Gala at the top. It was exactly at the top we called. It was exactly. So lanes are clear. It's a great day to serve the Lord. Walking in the light of God. Cha cha cha. Walk, 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 walk in the light. Walk, 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 walk in the light. Walk, 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 walk in the light. Walking in the light of God. Cha cha cha. Entry prices are 0.96 cents. Exit 1 dot, and it's 166, so we're gonna say 150 just for safety. area. All right. Everything in this video is not financial investment or trading advice of any kind. If it does you well, shoot me an email. Tell me you did well on that trade if you do well. I would like to hear. Don't tell me how much you made unless you want to tell me how much % you made, but I don't care if you're trading $10 or $1 million. I just want to know that it feels good when I help find you guys a good trade, or when somebody here hears that you guys found a trade that they recommended. Hey, can you look at this map? And it turned out to be a really good map. I mean, that's a good thing. That's a real good thing.
I think I got in Seoul because of you, and it's done very well, so thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Ian. TFUEL is the cousin or brother of THETA TFUEL. And since THETA's doing well, TFUEL may also do really well. This one's actually a better breakout than the other one. Fantastic. Now, I won't do everything on this chart. Okay. But I do want to say this. This is very easy to see. Can you guys see it? The breakout should be in this territory. That's when you have a chance to move up. And guess what? That's what's happening. Oh, all systems are, well, not all systems, but for the most part, TFUEL is looking good. Thank you again, Superfood, for making it a good Christmas for us.
Yeah, they go hand in hand, man. When one goes up, yeah, it definitely goes up together.
And when one goes down, right? Look at that. This resistance is super good. Look at this. 3 foundational touches, 4 foundational touches too. In fact, I probably would want to trade this one more than I did the other one. There's your verification.
Based on this, better than a Black Friday.
It actually makes you money. I'll take. Thank Lord for the show. Thank you, Lord. See, I don't know what to look at with the cryptos. I just draw the map. You guys bring me the data. I feel like the mom, you know, the cat comes in and he brings a bird on. The mom's like, I can't cook that one for dinner tonight. And then the son comes home, Mom, I caught a lizard. I can't cook that one home for tonight. And then the dad comes home, right? And he brings the turkey. And the mom's like, okay, we can eat that. I'll pluck those feathers. You guys just bring me stuff and I'll bring it to me, right, guys? And then we'll see what we can eat. See what's edible. We'll cook it. You guys do some hunting. You hear prophetic words. I heard this prophetically or that prophetically. All right, let me know what you heard, and then I'll look at the time. We'll do my best. If it's good, maybe we can use it. This one's 40% for the next main resistance. 40% before we hit that meat. Okay. 2 behaviors, but this one looks more primed and ready to go. It looks more delicious. I will say that. A delicious crypto. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's where it's going to be. The reason I'm drawing it like this is because the round action here. Okay. Core, round action meat, cracking these tops. First area of health, second area of health will be here to there, and then probably a third. All right, I'm gonna take these images. Let's go back down. Actually needs to be a little lower. I need to double check this. Yep, core. This angle is correct. Guys, this angle, just so you know, this angle would not be conventional. I wouldn't have not taught this like this in the past, but this is, last year the Lord showed me to focus on round action, and it helps my angles actually become even more accurate. This has helped my trading and helps me see breakouts even before I would normally have seen them using a very stricter method with sword method. It is more vague, but the method is a type of art form. When you see that round action, you're going to notice things like hidden battlers, and that means you're going to have issues at some of those areas, like here and here. We'll have issues here and here, but we have to focus on the essence of what is happening at this area. And the essence of what's happening at the area is there's an angle there. And so when we see prices clear in these areas, that's a big deal. And when we see them sitting on top of those areas, that's a big deal. So therefore we can expect with more higher degree of certainty that we should be moving higher. Okay? I know that's a little complicated. We talk about this in Sword Methods lesson 1 through 10 on our website. You guys are all dive members, so you guys can watch those lessons. But that does mean that from time to time, I'm going to draw angles that may be hard or difficult to see with the naked eye. And this is one such angle. Okay, this is one such angle. I believe the breakout is actually happening. Otherwise, I'm really going to use a stricter method. But for the most part, sometimes I'm going to see things like that, where it's not going to show up as easily, but it's there. Okay, now, because of this, the prices we have are going to be 0.64 for profit. And yeah, I would take profit at 0.64, maybe a little bit before. And then we're going to look for an entry. Now, you're kind of sitting on an entry, but if you want perfect entry, we're going to need to go to a smaller time frame. Let's go down to, cut the time in half to 12. And just to save time, we're going to go to all the way to a 6. And I think we can find it on the 6th. All right, and there's your entry there. Okay, so we are in the downtrend. Lower highs and lower lows. But if we cut the low, we can see the breakout is happening now. So again, I would feel comfortable entering in this trade as well. So thank you, Superfood. He gave us a 2-for-1 deal. Superfood giving us a big 2-for-1 deal. I would be comfortable entering in those prices. Okay, and I would take the trade up to there. Potential money that's on the table again is around 40 something percent. Okay, 43. TFUEL. I have an entry confirmation on TFUEL, just as we do on THETA. Current percentage on the table is about 40%. I would feel comfortable during fuel. And this is my cup of tea. Okay. I mean, not the best cup of tea. I like the sword cuts, but I'll take this one. Okay. With a higher degree of certainty. Okay.
That was a nice tea fuel.
What is it?
That was a nice cup of tea fuel.
Let me give you that entry price here. 0.044. Okay, so good. TFUEL. This is 6-hour chart. 6-hour chart. Or 4 exit 0.06, and I'm just gonna say just 6.1 to 64.064. Okay, good. Okay, so that should be updated. This is good. I like it. Now, let's go to XDC. Experience its breakout here in this area here, and it was very interesting that on October 30th we had a very large spike up from this all the way up to there, and that was just crazy. What is that, 45% in one day? Somebody made that money. I don't know. Somebody made that money. What we're doing is we can draw a few things. Tell me what's missing on this chart. On this chart here. Can somebody tell me what's missing on this chart? Anybody know? Starts with an S.
Rounding.
Starts with an S. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, let's draw that sword cut. So we're going to draw it there, exactly where the breakout was. That's the foundation of, well, it's not the foundation of our method, but it's what our method is named after, because it's a very unique thing, and I don't know anybody who did it. I think I know there's one guy who did something close to that somebody sent me a video of the past couple years, but maybe he saw one of our videos. I don't know. But that's what the Lord showed me about that area, okay? And when we see price breaking above and building in these areas, usually it's a very safe area to get in, because that's usually when price starts to move up. In addition, when price breaks below sword cuts, it usually pulls back up one more time, so we have time to get out for almost no loss. Can't tell you how many times I've got entries at sword cuts just because it was safe and it was very minimal risk. In addition to that, it's a good barometer for a lot of resistances later in the future and potential weaknesses when it is upside down. This is how we knew a lot of weaknesses was entering in the markets, because price was rounding after a period of time going up and breaking underneath its sword cut. So I said, hey, take some profit, right? because you can go down. So it looks like that. Now let's go back to our lesson.
Do you have another chart, Jay? Because I feel like you've done all of this already.
I see. Well, let's take a look and see if there's a date. This is my major one. 140, episode 140.
Okay.
So, all right. So, what we're going to look for on this is an entry now. Because there's health, this area, we're going to look for the entry so we can potentially move higher. Okay? The entry that we're looking at, we're going to go to that 12-hour chart, and then we're going to go to a 6-hour chart, and we can already see where the entry should be more or less. Okay? And I would use this chart for your entry. And if I'm drawing from here in core to their core, I would say an entry may be up here. If not, potentially back here at sword cut. Those would be my areas where we're most likely going to have entry. Okay. So that would be more of a safer area. And that's because we're so far off of the last rounding action that happened at sword cut back then. Back in October 27th. Okay. So we need an entry. And I would probably be looking at this entry here. Now the reason this is going to be more attractive is because we do have confirmation that this is what we're supposed to be looking at. The confirmation is right there when we spiked a third time. Okay, do you guys see that? So therefore, you need to be we'll need to be focused on this, the safer entry. Okay, price needs to break above and come back down, possibly, most likely. But for the most part, it just needs to clear this area. And then we can start moving up to some kind of potential. The breakout would be about there. 5.0. Did you have a question?
Yeah, you said lower. So do you see it going lower?
Not yet. But give me
Do you think it's gonna go lower, or is it just gonna stay where you think? Because I know you can't really.
Yeah, I can show you where the biggest clue will happen. But give me one second. Let me put this in the text.
Only one, okay?
I mean, yeah, I shouldn't say that. Call out. XDC. This would be the safer area to enter. 6-hour chart. I would not take the trade on XDC at this moment for shorter term trading. The last entry was at sword cut, and we are very high above there. Okay, so we're really high off your last entry, which was down here. That was when we last took trades on XDC. But right now there's no trade on XDC, so we can actually, rest a little bit, right? Now, Janae asked, okay, do we see it going lower? Well, what I would do is to see it above is I would draw this round action connected to maybe these two guys here. Okay, that one connected to the core, all right, and therefore if price enters these areas, you're going to go down. The price for that right now is around 0.0514. You need to be a little patient for that. I don't think that's going to be the case, but if price does go into that territory, you're almost certain you're going back to sword cut. Okay, so either way, you need to break out right now. Okay, don't take the trade just yet. Be a little patient. Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I just want to say that when you said XDC, I heard cha-ching, cha-ching.
Chang, cha-ching?
Cha-ching, like money, cha-ching.
Oh, good.
Cha-ching.
Now,
Not financial advice.
yeah, we've seen that XDC has massive potential, right? On our charts, we can see that this is the major trend. Okay, these foundational angle, replicated and duplicated at the top energy center has confirmation in the past. We've discussed that in previous episodes, which means that XDC, if it's allowed to continue up, it can hit $1.05. You're talking 5 cents to $1 That's some massive money that's on the table. 2,300%. Cha-ching, cha-ching is correct. Okay. I mean, that's some pretty strong potential. And this is what we said. On the larger map, it is possible that XDC will hit $1.05 as of November 6th. This is potentially on the larger charts. This area angle has been verified. The resistance along the way. There is resistance along the way, but if there's a bullish pump past the smaller areas, look for 105 to eventually be hit. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that I potentially want to be in this longer term trade. Okay, I want to be in that trade, and I want you guys to do well in that trade. So, where will that trade start? It's going to continue again. It already started on the longer term charts, but it's going to continue here, okay? So once you get that breakout, it's going to take a little longer, right? But guess what? The payoff's going to be so much worth it, right? Isn't it going to be so much worth it? I don't mind paying 0.05 cents and getting in to $1 and riding the wave up to $1. If you're looking for a longer term entry, you become a strong holder when you buy at lower prices. But you have to pick correct lower prices. Those lower prices have to be times that are not going to waste your money, because you could still go in lower prices. We knew the last lower prices was at sword cut because of our previous maps. You guys know that. Many of you took the trade there. I took a trade there on XDC. Okay, and I took some profit as well. But this is one of the best entries. If I hadn't take profit and I was just there, then now I'd be in a strong position, because I have a nice little cushion. Even if price goes against me, I have a little cushion for longer term. In addition, I know next where to accumulate. Superfood coined the term dollar cost mapping, and that's taking a map and accumulating instead of averaging over time, dollar cost averaging, just buying throughout the year. You're actually buying at important map event points, the breakouts. I can get some there because I know it's not going to waste my time. I can get some here. It's not going to waste my time. Okay. For the most part, you're stacking more of the odds in your favor. There'll be more entries probably along the way, but some of them will be much, much higher, and some of you will miss getting out on some of the lower prices. Can we buy XDC right now? No. I wouldn't buy XDC right now, because we could still go back to lower prices. And then you're going to be like, oh, well, Jason said it's going to go up. Yeah. Longer term, it's going to go up. I believe longer term, XDC is going to hit $1.05 area, because it's within the natural flow. But it needs to overcome some obstacles along the way. And you're going to have to be a little patient right now before XDC can hit that area. Okay, so wait a little bit longer for XDC. Just like your certain cryptos, you have to wait. But once they get in the position, they're primed, the engines are fired, and you'll see it take off, and it'll seem like it goes out of nowhere. But for you guys, it all happens in slow motion. For many of us, trading happens in slow motion. The markets happen in slow motion for us, okay? And because we can see those turns on a dime, right?
So I'm going to say this out of faith. I hear it's going to hit a small drop, and then it's going to go.
A small drop. And okay, so in faith, Janae is saying, hey, you know, she says a prophetic gifting, and she's seen that kind of thing. If there's a small drop, maybe it will look like what we're seeing on the chart right there. What if on the drop we see price go to the sword cut again, and then there's another entry? If you saw it, by the way, one last thing, going back to that 6-hour chart, before we move on to the next cryptos, if price drops to sword cut, then we're going to have to now draw that angle. So say price drops down here, right? It comes down. We're paying attention to this angle, and then price will be down here, and then it'll break above. Then it's going to go up now to here, and it may stall, or it can break above and go. But there's two behaviors, and that's possible too. That's speaking hypothetical. I'm not going to take a picture of that, but for you who know how to read, this is exactly how it would look if price went down from today.
He's telling me to say it, and I'm going to be obedient. Okay. He's saying buy XDC, do your numbers, because you will become a millionaire.
Oh, good.
Man, I received that one.
That some of you who are traders, you're going to use maps. And you guys also who are, because I'm a bit of both, your longer term holding for certain wealth transfer events. When you know there's a crypto that you're supposed to get, it bear witness with your spirit, accumulate that crypto, whatever it is. There's going to be people that say, don't. You're going to hear me say, I wouldn't buy it right now. Because I'm telling you, as a trader. But as a long-term investor, there's certain cryptos that I have regardless. And that's some things like XRP. I have things like XLM. Longer term, I have certain cryptos because I know prophetically they match what's supposed to happen. But as a trader, I'm now combining the smaller intraday trading, intra-weeks trading, the swing trading that lasts over maybe 1, 2, 3 months. I take those trades and I combine them with the longer term prophetic. So there are some people who are not traders and you just need to know what to get for longer term. XDC is one of them. I know that. And so is XRP.
I just want to say that the Lord just spoke to me and said, you are my children, and I will move the market for you. I'm going to repeat myself. I will move the market for you.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for that. Now, the next crypto we're going to look at is the crypto that I am currently in right now as a trade to our targets. And I'm going to show you the images for this one. And that is AGIX. We entered in here. Episode 143. AG currently is bullish. I see many signs of health and continued bullish behavior. I believe price will hit targets of 0.29 and 0.34 based on current price action. We are about 15% off from the best prices, I meant entry prices, but it's still a decent entry around 0.25. So 2.5 to 2.9, and I got in around those prices. Okay, I said in 143, based on the 3-hour chart, I would feel comfortable entering at these prices. 0.257 towards 0.29 and possibly 0.34. However, this is still volatile. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Based on this key angle in blue here, we should have some resistance around that area. And we broke right above it and stopped and sat down. You can see we sat down. So that was a big clue that I know that there's health that can lead us to our targets. Now there's a major target at 0.43. But price has to overcome a lot of things to get to there. I believe there will be some other entries for AGIX, but this might be a good time to take some profits if we can get to that number. And it looked like this. Okay, so I was comfortable getting in around those prices because we pulled back twice down to that gray line, which is a step up based on the key angle. We teach that in sort of method. I believe we teach step ups in lessons 1 through 3. And they're in gray, and you guys can see where they are because price uses them like to step up like a ladder. And you can see price building on top of there 1, 2, 3 times, actually 1, 2, and 3 times. That's a really good sign. And so because of that, I'm expecting price to move there, and I was in AGIX. Now, I need to let you guys know, I always say beware against high leverage trading. I didn't have AGIX available on my crypto exchange that I use for the standard trade. So the only thing they had was AGIX 3S and 3L. So 3L means you're in a position leveraged times 3. So I did see quite a significant gain, from that because it's times 3. But otherwise, I would just buy the normal one because I don't like to risk too much. But because of its leveraged position, I did pretty good. So I told Melody, hey, we're doing good. I saw yesterday. And we hit target number 1. So there you are, target number 1. Okay. Let me take those green shots one more time for this. But I just want to let you guys know I will be taking some profit after class in this area. Now, if I'm waiting for another entry, where's the trading view? If I'm waiting for another entry, I might want to go back down to that same 3-hour chart and wait for the down move. And right now, the down move's probably starting. So I'll see price maybe come down. But if we are able to cut again, I probably will enter one more time because of the longer term health. But for right now, I want to break this into 2 different behaviors. Okay. So I'm just going to put this in the notes. Where's that? That was November 8th, right? I believe it was. November 8th, 143. Okay. Currently, price hit its target, I will take profit now. If I see another entry on the smaller charts, I may enter, but there is no structure to support another entry at the moment. At the moment. Okay. If we get that entry, then I can take another trade up to number 2. Okay, target 2. But I don't have any real reason why to take that trade up to target number 2. Okay. And this is episode 146, November 20th. All right. So some of you guys who got in when I called the AGIX, if you're going to take profit with me, hey, good job. Let's celebrate, and I'll raise a glass to you. Okay. Yes, sir.
If you like zoom out to the, I don't know, the daily or the weekly, I guess it could potentially form a extremely huge cup and handle. But aside from that, if you look back at its kind of previous moves when it moved to the upside back in 2023, January 23, and also in 8th month of 2021, it went up really quickly, kind of went up parabolically, so like kind of just a straight line.
Yep, that move right there, where it almost went straight. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that move there is like almost like straight up in a line. It didn't really have any sort of big pullbacks and corrections. So can you draw a line from where it is now back towards that date? Just a straight line.
Well, what you should draw, if you're looking to where it is right now, right here, and this is where that breakout happened, we can actually see that even though it came up, the sword cut would be down here, and it's hot, and we labeled it here hot. So you actually know the price that it could potentially fall towards it. But since it's still broke up, you're going to be dealing with phantom. Okay, that means that people are not giving up. They're giving up on this number, and they're going to be taking an ever increasing number as time goes on, and new buyers enter the market. Now, because of that, I would be focusing on the foundational key angle, the phantom of that angle, which the first place we have the phantom is here. Okay, so above that, all these structures here. So that's the angle you're going to want to focus on. This right here. Now, we already drew it for you guys in purple, so we know the exact price. If price falls today, and just in a free fall crash, I wouldn't expect it to go all the way to sword cut. I would expect it to fall to 0.086. Okay, but there is some potential here because we have foundational area. If we continue going up, guess what? The new top can be potentially around where the cores are here, and I'm just going to put it here because it's about the average of those 3 areas. That means that price has the potential to really move up to somewhere around 73 cents. Yeah.
The point I was trying to get across was like we're current in the move we are currently in now. If you look back in time, especially to that last move, you can kind of see at that point where it was, it didn't really stop. It didn't really stop for a correction and really come back down. It just went straight up. And sometimes, you could see that same formula again, like it happened in 2021, the 8th month of 2021. It went straight up. Then again, it did that in 2023, the first month. It went it did the exact same straight up move with no, really any correction. So I'm just kind of making you aware of that, and also asking you, like, do you think we should be careful of it just going straight up again like that in a straight line move?
No. Let me ask the team. Do you guys think it? I mean, it did go straight up, but let me ask you in truth: did it just go straight up? Like, did it happen out of the blue? Like one day it just shot up. Did it happen out of the blue? Yeah, it consolidated. What else? What else was the biggest clues that caused it to go up? What was the big shift that happened? And by shift, I mean change of behavior.
It got above the key angle and the sword cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hit a couple of times.
Can anybody draw it on this chart where how we would not have been taken by surprise had we had this on our radar? Okay. Okay. What else? I see you guys drawing that. That's good. You guys drew that consolidation in that area, that little section. Is there anything else that would have shown us that we wish we should have been looking very bullish at this crypto? Anybody else see it? It's on there.
Parabolic.
There you go. You're getting closer. There you go, Superfood.
And then, of course, this part right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's primarily what I want you guys to focus on. Look at the energy here. You draw those two key angles. If all you got was one darn thing, you would have saw from my lessons, you guys would have saw there's energy. Hold on, clear you. You would have saw.
Just through them lines alone, you would have known.
You would have saw that, hey, we're getting some health, we're cracking the line here, but then you hit it again, but you know that there's some signs of health because we're cracking those lines, and those would have been hidden ballers. Of course, you would have saw that, but still, the story would have been like, man, we got verification, that angle was, and that angle shouldn't have hit you by surprise, because you had it. I mean, it's pretty darn easy to see that, right? I mean, it's pretty darn easy. So, and there's other things you could have done within there. You could have done tiger analysis, which we teach about in lessons 4, 5, and 6. And you could have saw the tiger angles, and you could have took that angle and verified it at the energy centers and saw the health coming in way before the people coming in. If you want to, that's more one of the more advanced ones. But you would have saw that, hey, that's a sign of health sitting right there. You could have done that. At the very least, if all you did was just draw the single angle, you would have saw the breakout happening both here and here. And then when you saw price sitting in this area, you would have been ready to buy. For some of you advanced users, you would have bought back in Tiger. Okay? But you would have known, hey, there's some health. Now, was there some issues along the way? Oh, absolutely. You would have had infinity angle. You would have had these down angles, right? Weakness, weakness, weakness. But once you saw the price cracking those lines, you know that for the most part, the tide was turning. All of that energy was starting to be broken. In addition to the top side being broken, you would start saying, okay, now I need to pay attention to this. All right, then you would say, okay, where's my next entries? And then you would have looked at this section right here in that sector. Okay, and as you looked at that sector, that would allow you to start thinking about all the potential energy that was happening. And you would have saw consolidation. Okay, we would have saw, okay, what's happening here? Maybe we would have started drawing like this, and then we'd say, okay, are we in a downtrend? But then when we came back up, you're going to say, oh no, there's something else going on here. There's something else going on. Then we would have started examining the cores here and these areas based on the weekly chart, and you would have saw the consistencies. There's the consistency. This is consolidation. This is the energy I need to be focused on. There's the key angle, or you would have drawn the key angle and drew it on bottom. But either way, you know where your next potential areas of entry were. Okay. You know all the health. And guess what? You had price breaking right to that area. I mean, it was like a play-by-play for you guys knowing. And there would have been an entry above that candle. So even if you got the late entry, you would have got in at those prices and a pullback for about 1 day or 2 days. That would have been your breakout. So you would have been expecting breakouts either here, or at Tiger. And you would have got them. I mean, that's like 3 ways to entry. So what am I saying, my friends? I'm saying this did not happen out of the blue. So that's why I'm not so much concerned about certain cryptos just blowing up to the moon, because if they're not in position, I don't see it. Now this one, I would be really concerned it would blow up to the moon or really high if it pulled back to sword cut, because sword cut is still hot. For the right now price is above this downtrend here. That's the key angle, and that's the phantom. So I am expecting bullishness. But to the moon, I think it's close. You need another entry because we already hit our first target and stopped. So I don't think we're just going straight up today. Definitely not. But we can fade that one away, though, by the way. Okay, we can fade it away. But we do need another entry. Okay, so I think you're going to get it on a smaller time frame. Somebody watching it, you want another play-by-play? Now go to the 3-hour chart. Again, like I showed you guys, and wait for another setup to happen. And then you guys will be like, oh yeah, AGI, look, it's got the downtrend. Okay, good. Now let's cut it, and we'll wait for the trap to be set, and then take your entry, and then boom, you're ready to go next to the next target, and so forth and so on and so forth and so on. I mean, and one last thing, guys. One last thing. You're probably not going to believe me. Ian just said, hey, look at that. You know, it went up straight up. Even this, did it go straight up? Let's examine that just real quick. I'm going to pull up the dates. It's Monday, January of 2023. Let's just go to maybe like 4-hour chart in that block of time. Okay, we're going to go back to January. Just super quick, just so you guys can see. How many days did it happen? Did it just go straight up? Because from what I can see from that last entry we were talking about here, on that daily chart, price only went up to here. And then it stopped. Was there an entry here, my friends? Can somebody draw it on my chart since we're here? This is a 4-hour chart. You had, what, almost a whole month. January 14th all the way to February. You got a whole month. Is there an entry on here? And if so, where would we have seen it? Because we talk about this in lesson 10. Somebody draw the entry so I know you guys know how to trade if I'm not here. So when I'm gone, you guys are billionaires. You can help each other. Avoid all the gurus on TV and on YouTube just telling everybody, hey, you need to buy, without using logic and reasoning, evidence, support, verification, validation, structures. There it is. House got it. He drew it. You guys see that he drew? He drew that. Wick, core, structure. The breakout. Right there. There's your entry. You're making lower highs in this downtrend. There's some lower lows. But for the most part, we can see that this is a great downtrend. That's an easy one. Now, there are times when you can do the where it's an uptrend, and that's a little advanced, and I didn't do a lesson about that. But the easy ones are these downtrends. They're the wrong fish. They're the fish swimming in the wrong direction against the major trend, right? Against what's really happening. And that's price moving up when there's been a change of behavior. So you would have known to get in right there, and you would have took 2 trades. So you would have made the money from here to here. Good job. And then you would have made the money from here to wherever the next resistance would have been. And we could have done simple things like drawing these 2 bottoms together. The round structures here and the round structures here. And just connect them, and you would have known, hey, take some profit right there. Okay, let's see what price that was. And you could see there was a whole lot of nothing. And then you wait for your next entry and so forth and so on. Here's a flat, so we might want to say, oh, there's a flat. Actually, it's more like that. But we can look for another entry potentially there. Okay? But for the most part, price didn't do a whole lot of nothing, right? Along this path. So your entry and exit was almost at maximum profit. Okay? So I'm just showing you guys how that principles can work in trading. You guys can use that to your advantage. And the more you see it, I like that you guys are here because you guys are watching this stuff. It's not in vain. You're going to use this stuff in real life well after I'm gone. You guys are going to make good money and protect your wealth. Okay? Remember, Jesus said that the king gave wealth each according to his ability. Okay? Each according to his ability. And if you can increase your ability, you can increase the likelihood that you're going to be the one steward over larger wealth. Okay? I took profit day. I am waiting for another entry. I have no setup. Okay? I have no setup at the moment. All right, last cryptos. OXT, and then we're going to look at Luna Revisited. Okay. OXT. Are you guys learning things? Are you guys having fun? It's like a game you play in real life, right? You win this game, you can get rich slow. Right? It's not get rich quick. Get rich slow, but you can put odds in your favor, and one day when you're moving millions of dollars, it'll be thousands and thousands of dollars on the line. So you guys need to know how to read. Can you imagine if you're a millionaire and you don't know what the heck is going on in the market? You don't know how to read in the market, and you're a millionaire and you're throwing millions on the line. You're at the mercy of everyone. I don't want that for you, my friends. I want you guys to be competent in reading the flow of price. OXT. Good news for OXT. It's got its breakout. Good job. Good job. What we're looking for is we're in this uptrend right here. Price has been going in a downtrend, and there is a certain resistance channel based on this energy here on OXT. Now, because of this, I have deemed that there's a major resistance at this area here. Okay, so that's going to be a major resistance. Okay, right now it's just in orange, but it's resistance. But if this crypto is going to go up, it's going to have to overcome some hurdles along the way. And one of those hurdles is this dotted blue line that I placed here. And it looks like you got a breakout just the other day. All right, I put this in the notes. I said, this crypto is not ready with proper structure. It may be something to short, but as the markets are currently becoming bullish, we may want to stay away from shorting or weaker cryptos. So it's going to have to prove to me that this one got what it takes. And I said this down here, this would be the safer area to short if we entered into this territory. But guess what? We didn't enter into that territory. We not only hit the resistance along this path, but we also broke it. Okay, so now we're there. So now the next target at the top is around 0.096. So for you people who are looking for OXT, OXT will have a higher chance to hit higher targets once we can clear this area. So therefore, I would take the trade from here. Me, it's still not my cup of tea, but that's what I would like to take. So let me delete that one, so we're not focused on shorting, and we'll do update November 6th. Okay, and change the date, and we'll move on. Okay, this crypto has more health now. That's a good sign. There is still not much money on the table, but there is health, and we can see the main resistances. Okay, now could price go to the moon? Yeah, of course it could, but what I would say for us is that we're asking for a lot of trouble by taking a crypto that may be dangerous without big signs of health. There may be some cryptos that are dangerous just to buy them now and see them just go to the moon. It's more rare. You could draw a parabolic down like that and then wait, and that might be another good sign that there's something happening with that. And as we looking at this weekly chart, I'm going to put that on there because I kind of see that. So let's see if we can simplify this, and yeah, balanced. Okay, so what I just did right now is I collected this energy, this wick, these wicks, and I can see that if price enters here, we should be moving higher, but we still gonna have to deal with that bad boy. So let's look at the money that's potentially on the table for some of you guys who are trading this crypto. If you get the breakout, just say you're about right there, you got 231% on your money, and that's not so bad, but it's not my cup of tea at the moment. Okay, so yeah, resist, and says I can see that if price breaks above the yellow parabolic, we could have a potential run up towards, and what's the price? Well, I didn't put a price on there. Let's see, about right there, 26 cents. Towards 26 cents. Current price is 0.07. That would mean about 200+%. This trade is not my cup of tea just yet. Okay, I want breakouts above that yellow and above Tiger 3 area. Okay, so I might take the trade once we're above Tiger here because there's more of a higher certainty. I think we'll probably end up spiking. We'll probably come up like this, spike Tiger, come back down, and then maybe we'll break above and come to that area. But yeah, that's something I might do. I might take up the trade above Tiger. I want to look at it again. if we can come to that. But that would be my game plan for this crypto. Luna Classic. We're waiting for an entry on Luna Classic. As a reminder, big breakout on Luna Classic. Health is in this crypto. We need an entry. The entry is when we clear this one. We spoke about this on Saturday. If you look at the 6-hour chart, you can see our source, our secondary point here. We got verification. This is important. We're sitting right there at that resistance. I asked the team, is it okay to buy Luna? And they said, what did they say? What did you guys say? They said, no, wait, right? You got to wait. And if you get that breakout, you can watch it all week. Draw this on the 6-hour chart. If you get it, take the trade, pull the trigger, buy the Luna and watch it go to your target number. What target is this? Target number 1, 0.00013 average. And you may see it go there. Be conservative if you want to. Get out a few points earlier. But that percentage of money that's on the table for Luna is going to make you guys some money. And I hope it happens in the next few days. Because it might be a little bit of Christmas cash. You're looking around, what is this? If you get the breakout above these areas, it's around 70-something%. There's 71% just from the halfway measure mark. Okay, so I hope that does good and puts a little Christmas cash in your wallet before December. You may see it move really, really quickly once it's in position. You got to wait for that one, okay? You got to wait for it. Waiting for Santa to climb down that chimney. And put this in. I won't. Well, okay. We're waiting for the breakout. Luna has finally entered healthy territory. It means it has a chance to go up. What I'm waiting now is a pullback, possibly to the sword cut area around orange with target. And then I put update. We're now waiting for the next entry above entry up move for Luna Classic. We can draw the down angle as shown in the 2-hour. This is a 3-hour. Price needs to clear this line shown in dotted blue. If it clears today, 0.07, with each passing day, the price will go lower. If price does not close before November 23rd at 9 a.m., you're looking to go lower because weakness will have entered. And that's because there would be some weakness that may potentially be because of this angle. Okay. Actually, it's a little lower. Should be a little bit lower. There. Okay. And that little wick right in the center of my screen, one right here, that's your verification. Let me update this and then we're going to close today reading the Word of God.
The owner, Don Juan or whatever his name is, he's like in court or something with the USA police on the 23rd.
Okay. What does that mean? What do you think that means?
Well, I think that it's either going to move up or down on that news, most likely. Whatever. They said he's going to get charged, but it won't be the final trial, is what they said. So I'd expect some movements leading up to that, or on that news, or after that news. Yeah, because why not? That's what they like to do, these, you know.
Yeah, it fits the timing for the map, right? So
All on the news.
that news can help move price into proper position. Sometimes it needs just that little extra to get somewhere, and you'll see a good news day and something will happen. And not saying price moves because of the news, but usually those news days are good opportunities to either hide movement from institutional buying, as I've learned from the Wyckoff and Tom Williams. But it's also a good day where you can just give it that little push to get to the other side of a trend line. And just getting to the other side is very, very powerful because it lets health get in there. WordRoom message from yesterday where we talked about opportunities, and we talked about opportunities, observance and actions, or observance of and actions of opportunities. And it's a series that I started, and I hope to conclude the series next week, but we'll see how far we can get into it. It's a very, very important message. I would say that it's important for when you're asking God for direction in your life, for lots of things. Are you looking for his hand and movement in your life? It's a very powerful message. I want you guys to see it. We talk about Jacob's ladder as the great start of this, where there were these windows that open, and God gives us these opportunities. And sometimes there's certain actions we need to take and not take, and we're going to talk about that biblically next week on Sunday, WordRoom. Acts chapter 24, and Paul was being bribed before Felix, and it said that Felix sent him away, saying, "Go away, for the present. When I get an opportunity, I will summon you. At the same time, he hoped that the money would be given to him so that he would, as like a bribe. So he often conversed with him. And when 2 years had elapsed, Felix was succeeded by Porcius Festus. And desiring to do the Jews a favor, Felix left Paul in prison. Acts chapter 25. Who would like to read? Royal, thank you for volunteering.
Chapter 25. Now 3 days after Festus had arrived in the province, he went up to Jerusalem from Caesarea, and the chief priests and the principal men of the Jews laid out their case against Paul, and they urged him, asking a favor against Paul, that he summon him to Jerusalem, because they were planning to ambush to kill him on the way. Festus replied that Paul was being kept at Caesarea and that he himself intended to go there shortly. So, said he, let the men of authority among you go down with me, and if there is anything wrong about the man, let them bring charges against him. After he stayed among them not more than 8 or 10 days, he went down to Caesarea, and the next day he took his seat on the tribunal and ordered Paul to be brought. When he had arrived, the Jews who had come down from Jerusalem stood around him, bringing many and seriously charges against him that they could not prove. Paul argued in his defense, neither against the law of the Jews, not against the temple, nor against the Caesar have I committed any offense. But Festus, wishing to do the Jews a favor, said to Paul, do you wish to go up to Jerusalem and there be tried on these charges before me? But Paul said, I am standing before Caesar tribunal, where I ought to be tried. To the Jew I have done no wrong, as yourself know very well. If then I am wronged and have committed anything for which I deserve to die, I do not seek to escape death. But if there is nothing to their charges against me, no one can give me up to them. I appealed to Caesar. Then Festus, when he had conferred with his council, answered, to Caesar you have appealed, to Caesar you shall go.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I'm going to read this next part, and then we're going to talk about this. Okay, there's an important reason I said this. Now, when some days passed, Agrippa, the king, and Bernice arrived at Caesarea and greeted Festus. And they stayed before there many days. Festus laid Paul's case before the king, saying, this man was left prisoner by Felix, the person I took over his job. And when I was at Jerusalem, the chief priests and the elders laid out their case against him, asking for a sentence of condemnation against him. But I answered them that it was not the custom of the Romans to give up anyone before the accused met the accusers face to face and had the opportunity to make a defense concerning the charge laid against them. So I had a chance to a trial, an attorney and all that stuff, so to speak, basically. Right? So when they came together here, I made no delay, but I took the seat, on the next day, took my seat on the tribunal and ordered the man to be brought. So where Felix kept him in prison for a long time, hoping to be bribed, Festus has some good in him that the very next day he says, okay, let's do it, right? 3 days within office, Paul has a trial. About doggone time, right? And when he does, he's still wanting to do the Jews a favor. He's trying to make everybody happy, but he's not lacking the correct. He's still not correct, right? Because he knows that if he says, well, why don't we get trial over there? He knows that he's just doing it to try to be nice to the Jews, to earn some brownie points with his constituents. But if he does, it's dangerous for Paul because Paul's going to be killed on the way because they're going to ambush him if he goes. So Paul's smart. He's thinking tactically. Paul says, I'm not going to go. Why do I need to go to court all the way there? Isn't this the court right now? Can't we just have the trial here? Because aren't you a representative of Caesar? Isn't this Caesar's court, basically? Because you have the authority and power of him. And he's like, well, you know, let's have a better trial. Okay, we're going to have a better trial. And we need to investigate the matters more fully. He's okay. Well, so we won't go there. We'll have it here. Now, when he does, the king of the land comes in. Okay, the local king of the land, King Bernice, and they're actually head of the governor Felix, who is, you know, sitting in the place of Felix. Okay, so King Agrippa and his wife Bernice, they come in just a few days later. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because sometimes we don't see the favor that's right before our eyes. And when we're accustomed too much to doing something such a certain way, and when we are so accustomed to dealing with people a certain way, there's a tendency in us to handle everything the same way. And that can get us in trouble. And I'm going to show you how it got Paul in trouble right now. Okay, watch this. So, King Festus was greeted by Agrippa and his wife, Bernice of Caesarea. And they stayed there many days. So during the course, Festus, being friends with the king, said, you know, I got this guy. I got this guy on trial here. I want to talk to you about him. What would you do in this matter? Festus laid Paul's case before the king. And he said, there's a man left prisoner by Felix. When I was at Jerusalem, the chief priests and the elders of the Jews laid out their case against him, asking for a sentence of condemnation. Now I answered them it wasn't our custom to give anyone up. So when they came together, I made no delay, but on the next day I took my seat. Okay, now verse 18. When the accusers stood up, they brought no charge in his case of such evils as I thought they were talking about. But rather they had certain points of dispute with him about their own religion, and about a certain person named Jesus, who was dead, but whom Paul asserted to be alive. Now, being at a loss on how to investigate these questions, I asked if he wanted to go to Jerusalem to be tried there regarding them. But when Paul had appealed to be kept in custody for a decision of the emperor, so he said, let's decision, I'm going to go all the way to the emperor. I ordered him to be held until I can send him to Caesar. Then Agrippa said to Festus, I would like to hear the man myself. Tomorrow, Festus said, you will hear him. Now, tomorrow, said he, you will hear him. All right, so Paul immediately appealed all the way to the emperor, saying, you know, I don't think I'm going to get a fair trial here, so I just want to go right to the top. Let's just get this over with. I'm going to get this to the top. I'm going to go to the heart of the matter, right? I'm going to go right to the top to the emperor. Now, listen what happens. So the next day, Agrippa and Bernice came with great pomp, and they entered the audience hall with the military tribunes and the prominent men of the city. And then, at the command of Festus, Paul was brought in. And Festus said, King Agrippa, and all who are present with us, you see this man about whom the whole Jewish people petitioned me, both in Jerusalem and here, shouting that he ought not to live any longer. But I have found that he did nothing deserving of death. And as he himself appealed to the emperor, I decided to go ahead and send him. But I have nothing definite to write to my lord about him. What can I say to the emperor? Therefore I brought him before you all, and especially before you, King Agrippa, so that after we have examined him, I may have something to write. For it seems to me unreasonable in sending a prisoner and not indicate the charges against him. First, chapter 26. I said to Paul, you have permission to speak for yourself. Paul stretched out his hand, and he made his defense. I consider myself fortunate that it is before you, King Agrippa. I am going to make my defense today against all the accusations of the Jews, and especially you, because you are familiar with the customs and controversies of the Jews. Therefore I beg you to listen to me patiently. My manner of life from my youth, spent from the beginning of my own nation, and in Jerusalem, is known by all the Jews. They've known for a long time, if they are willing to testify, that according to the strictest party of our religion, I lived as a Pharisee. So I was a Pharisee. And now I stand here on trial because of my hope in the promise that's made by God to our fathers, to which our 12 tribes hope to obtain. And as they earnestly worship day and night, for this purpose I am accused by the Jews, O king. Why Why is it thought incredible by any of you that God raises the dead? Why do you think it's incredible that God raises the dead? You know, I myself was convinced that I ought to do many things in opposing the name of Jesus of Nazareth. And I did so in Jerusalem. I not only locked up the saints in prison after receiving authority from the chief priests, but when they were put to death, I cast my vote against them to be put to death. And I punished them often in all the synagogues and tried to make them blaspheme. And in raging fury against them, I persecuted them even to foreign cities. Now, in this connection, I journeyed to Damascus with the authority and commission of the chief priest, on my way to hunt and kill these Christians. At midday, O king, I saw on the way a light from heaven, brighter than the sun, and that light shone around me and those who journeyed with me. And when we had fallen to the ground, I heard a voice saying to me in a Hebrew language, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? It is hard for you to kick against the goads. And I said, who are you, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. But rise and stand up on your feet, for I have appeared to you for this purpose, to anoint you as a servant and a witness to the things in which you have seen me, and to those in which I will appear to you, delivering you from your people and from the Gentiles, to whom I am sending you, to open your eyes, that they may turn from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan to God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and a place among those who are sanctified by faith in me. Therefore, King Agrippa, I was not disobedient to the heavenly vision, but declared first to those in Damascus, and then in Jerusalem, and throughout all the region of Judea, and also to the Gentiles, that they should repent and turn to God, performing deeds and keeping in with repentance. For this reason the Jews seized me in the temple and tried to kill me. To this day I have had the help that comes from God. And I stand here testifying both to small and great, that saying nothing but what the prophets and Moses said would happen, said would come to pass, that the Christ must suffer, and that by being the first to rise from the dead, he would proclaim light both to our people and to the Gentiles. And as he was saying these things, in his defense, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, you're out of your mind. Your great learning is driving you mad. Your great learning is driving you out of your mind, insane. But Paul said, I'm not out of my mind, most excellent Festus, but I'm speaking true and rational words. For the king knows about these things, and to him I speak boldly. For I am persuaded that none of these things has escaped his notice. He knows what's been going on in Jerusalem. He knows about Jesus who has died but came back to life. He knows that the Jews are talking about these things. He knows, but it's in our scriptures. And he knows that it's in our scriptures that the Messiah would come back to life. Verse 28, for I am persuaded that none of these things has escaped his notice. And for this has not been done in a corner. It's public knowledge. It's common knowledge. King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? I know that you believe. I know that you believe. And Agrippa said to Paul, in a short time, would you persuade me to be a Christian? Paul said, whether short or long, I would to God that not only you, but all who hear me this day might become such as I am, except for these chains right here that I'm wearing. Then the king rose, and the governor, and Bernice, and those who were sitting with him. And when they had withdrawn, they said to one another privately, this man is doing nothing deserving of death or imprisonment. And Agrippa said to Festus, this man could have been set free if he had not appealed to Caesar. Now, we got a lot there, and I won't spend too much time because we're over time today. But I did want to close with some of these words. I can see that Paul may have been a little bit too hasty in going right to the top, because there was already somebody on their way setting him free. When Festus came, he was like, listen, I this is my case, but I appeal. I appeal to Caesar. Not realizing that somebody was already on the way to complete what God had given them. And that was to set him free so he can continue the work. Either way, the prophecy was fulfilled that he would go before kings and he would prophesy to the leaders, as I explained earlier in the previous chapters in Acts. And we spoke about that in the last 3 on Wednesday and then on Saturday about Paul. Now, if we look at the reality, is that he missed a window for him to be set free because he was so used to nobody really believing him or accepting him that he appeals. And when somebody came that would have believed him and that maybe even would have turned into a Christian, he had already appealed. So there was not really a real reason for, having the meeting with them except for to share the gospel. And that was a great thing. And it's great to do something good for God, but it would have been great if he had just been a little bit more patient before appealing, because his salvation was on the way in the form of King Agrippa and Bernice. And sometimes we're a little bit too hasty in waiting for the salvation of our God. So we try to make things happen and skip over the processes in a way. Am I speaking to somebody? Sometimes we jump too ahead. We jump the gun ahead of God, not realizing that God already sent you the answer to your prayer, and we move on to something else before God even has a chance for us to receive what God has sent on the way. There's a scripture in the Bible, about the angel who said, Daniel, from the day that you began to pray, God sent me to you. And what we do is, he says, I was delayed because there was a spiritual battle in the heavenlies, and I had to battle that battle on the way here. Satan was trying to stop me from getting to you. So sometimes God has already answered our prayer. We just have to pray it through, clear the way. But the answer is already there. It's on its way. The blessing is already trying to overtake you. And if we're not careful, we move out of position and we run away to something else. If we think about it, like, for example, like with cryptocurrency, some of you already have cryptos that are going to make you millionaires in your wallet already. And all you need to do is sit on your hands. Some of you are going to be actively trading, and that's okay, right? But some of you are just going to be already in position. And some people are going to forget what the major instructions God told you already. And you're going to run away and be out of position for certain things to happen in the future. Some of us will be scared because of the shakeout. So we'll see price go to zero. Oh, I'm done. I'm getting out of these cryptos. And we'll get out of the cryptos. And then it shoots up really high because of the wealth transfer events. Gold standard comes back. Regulations happen. And then these cryptos go to thousands of dollars or whatever it is. Simmer off the chart. And you're like, I had that at one time. And you're going to, kick yourself in the butt. That's a physical example. Another example might be if you're in a relationship with someone that God actually sent to you. Or you're praying, Lord, get me in a relationship, and somebody's on the way. You're going to meet that person this week. Whether you're supposed to be in a relationship because you're so desperate. You go on some app or whatever you do. Not saying you can't use apps, right? But you go somewhere and you get in a relationship with somebody that is not godly or not the person for you, and you just run away, and somebody was right there that was right before you, and you miss your opportunity. And then you'll see them and be like, wow, I felt like I'm supposed to be with this person, but I'm already dating this guy and I can't just break up with him, or I'm already dating this girl, I can't just break up with her. That happens. That actually happens to people, to believers, to Christians. We sometimes jump ahead and jump the gun because we're a little impatient. We're so used to everybody telling us no that we just said, okay, I'm just going to make it happen on my own. Not realizing that God was already paving the way. Now, I won't condemn Paul, because whatever God, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. That means that even if we make some messes, God can take all the messes and put them together and sew a beautiful tapestry. He'll figure a new plan if he has to. But God does not make us robots. God does not make us robots. He gives us choices. He lets us choose things. He puts things before us. He starts paving the path. He wants us to follow his lead. And the better we get at following his lead, the less mistakes we make. But we are going to make some mistakes. I won't be there to condemn you. I make mistakes all the time. Trust me. My dad used to say, who makes mistakes? My dad would say, I got my hands and my feet up. You can't see right now, but that's what my dad would say. And it was true. We as people make mistakes. but we're going to get better at following his leading and jumping the gun. Don't be able to say, oh, well, Paul was perfect, Paul was holy. No, he wasn't. I mean, he was a murderer, in the beginning, right? He was in the beginning. He made a lot of mistakes too. And I'm sure that maybe if he was here, he might say, you know what? It would have been good if I could have, not appealed. Maybe the king would have set me free and pardoned me. And then I would have continued doing what I want to do. Maybe not in Jerusalem, but somewhere else. And I think that would have been a lot better, because Paul said, I want everybody to have a good life serving the Lord except for these chains. So he doesn't want that to be the case for others. I don't think he would want it to be the case for himself. Later in the Bible, he wrote books from the Bible from prison. We have some of those letters, but Paul wrote some of those while he was in prison, wanting us and saying, I wish I could see you. I want to be there. I have to send someone else, but I wish it could be me visiting the churches, doing the ministry. We don't want to be that person who is sitting off the side watching other people fulfill the mission of God because we maybe moved ourselves into a bad position. Was that really the reason Paul was? I don't know. But we hear it from the king, and it's in the Bible that he could have been set free. Okay? So we need to take some of these principles to heart. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Not jumping the gun before God. Cause us to be a little bit more patient. We're going to revisit some of that topic in the Sunday's Word Room. All right? We're going to talk when we talk about Saul. I love that there's a special passage. We're going to talk about that. Father, we thank you so much for this reading, the daily reading for today. I thank you for the growth spiritually that we are all experiencing and together reading the Word of God and hearing from the Word, because we know that faith cometh by hearing and hearing of the Word. I thank you for the cryptos, Lord, the opportunities, but Lord, you are the most important thing in our life. We can lose everything. We can lose all the cryptos. We can lose opportunities. We can lose our wallets, but if we have you, you'll always start us over, no matter where we are. You have the greatest hope. And in you is found all the blessings, all truth, and we put our hope in you. Not in man, not in mammon, not in money, not in things. For it is written that man cannot serve both God and money. So we will serve you, Father. We'll make our money work for us. We'll be faithful. We'll be diligent with what you've given us. Make us into people that will fund your kingdom. People who will continue the good work, people who will put our wealth towards those who are preaching the gospel, who are boots on the ground, working in the fields, saving souls, feeding the hungry. And for us, we will also use our wealth for safe places, places of refuge, for cities, for homes, for food, for people during the difficult times that may come in the future, for the persecuted believers in the future. Whether it's for now or for our children's children, we will be faithful with the tasks and the missions that you've given all of us. You've given various missions to all of us. Many of us will build and do beautiful things with our wealth. And so may we do those things starting now with our heart, with our small levels of income. May we start doing now already what you've given to us as a purpose. And may we not run ahead, but follow your leading, asking you to speak to us, asking for your leading. And if you tell us to wait, help us to wait. Like crypto, where we have to wait for positions, I pray that you would also help us to wait for your word. Okay. I thank you, Lord. Forgive us for the times when we just made our own way and did our own path. Let us be better followers of you. Yeah. Let us be better followers of you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thanks for joining us, my friends. We'll be back on Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check your time. There's been time conversions around the world. It's Eastern Standard Time. Right before Thanksgiving, we will not have a Saturday chart room. So we will do Wednesday. It is a tutorial day, so I try to spend more time tutorial, having you guys do hands-on drawing on the chart. If you're watching this on YouTube, you cannot see them drawing on the chart. We're going to take a little holiday for the Thanksgiving. I want you guys to enjoy Thanksgiving. Have some turkey. Celebrate. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for all people who support our WordRoom ministry with tithes and offerings, love gifts. And we love you guys, and I just want to tell you, have a happy Thanksgiving from my heart to you. If you guys want to, contact me on email. The email is j.song7784@icloud.com. Shoot me an email, and we can have a chat. God bless you guys. Take care.